Are we filming? Awesome. Hey guys, so we got a bunch of interesting stuff happening today. First of all, it's the first shop day in a while. And we're going to try something new. Instead of the lamp meter, we're going to try the kilowatt. I don't know how we work lamp in there. But it's essentially, a kilowatt is essentially a thing that you can buy, a meter that you can buy that's designed to measure wattage and amperage and voltage and power factor and you can measure the hertz in there too, and your kilowatt hour, so how much it's actually costing you, although there's no way to really do that. Like that's like you can set it and then you leave it overnight, and it's how much did it cost you overnight basically. But that's useful for a host of reasons. One of which being that most of you guys probably know that you can do math to get amps from watts and vice versa, but that's not always accurate because of something called power factor. Power factor is basically how I can't explain it. I understand it, but not well enough to explain it. Basically, it's how efficiently is it using those amps. Sometimes you might have because watts is a measurement of heat. And so not all current used is turned into heat. And so sometimes you might have a case where something might use 1 amp and use 120 watts. Again, we're talking about 120 volts. Other times it might use 1 amp and only be 100 watts because it's a different power factor. And again, I'm new to this. I understand it, but not well enough to explain it. So if you want to understand it, do your own research and then come back and explain it to me, because I need to understand it better so that I can explain it to you.
Maybe what's his name?
Who? Matt Fergan?
Yes.
He would be able to explain it very well. So Bill Phantom did a pretty good explanation while we were at Fanfare. I knew about it, but I never actually. You turn these off or low?
Off.
Oh, I usually turn to low, but it's fine either way.
I thought I heard off.
I don't remember what I said. I might have said off.
Yeah, you would say it,
so anyhow, yeah, so we're going to start looking at power factor. I only know about it because of ballast. It's only come up when it comes to ballast, because ballast are talking about having a high power factor. You can get high power factor ballast and whatnot. Anyhow, I got this brown Lasko, which I really only bought for parts. I bought it because I have so many Dayton Laskos missing canopies, but this is black, and my Dayton Laskos are mostly white, and some of them are brown, so if I use these canopies, I'd have to paint them. So we'll see if I'm even going to do that. For now, we're just going to leave it as a fan.
Yeah, this is actually a good fan. Huh?
I don't like these. I like the ornate version, and I like the metal version, the Dayton Lasko version. I like the Sanyo version. I think this version is ugly. So I would consider selling or trading it, but we'll see. Because again, I do need the canopies, but then I'd have to paint them with like white plastic paint. So we'll see. So Metal Pete, why don't you go ahead and first of all hit the amp button on there. You see a button where it says amp? Yeah. Hit the amp button. It was on volts. We're just a hair under 120. And by the way, I told people in the kids group if they wanted to video chat with us, they could while we're filming, but no one has actually done it yet.
Too bad
so
you can't just go live with this.
You're right. I couldn't because I couldn't film and go live at the same time.
Yeah, but, that's true.
Okay, so go ahead and hit the low.
Okay.
Let's see what it does.
Set.
I'm gonna turn my sound off on here. I've got my laptop here. Interesting, it seems to be drawing more current as it gets up to speed.
Yeah.
It's making a sound again, something must be hitting again, maybe the lower canopy. Yeah. Metal Pete's been really working with it to try to keep it from making any noise.
Okay. Tell you what, I'll fix that after spin down since we're...
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Do medium. Right. Well, no, let's do it here. So we're gonna check power factor. Okay, so,
please,
hit watts.
Watts, okay. 39.
Okay.
Watts.
So let's do the math first before we hit the power factor button. It was what, 0.33 amps?
Yeah.
So 0.33 times 120 is 39.6. So this case it has a power factor of 1.
Yep.
So hit power factor and just... Is there a button for power factor?
Oh, right down here, I think.
Sometimes you may... What does it hit? Hertz?
Yeah.
So hit Hertz first. That's 60 Hertz, and then the power factor is 0.98.
Yes, that's really close
Yes.
to what you're saying.
So, and it is right at 60 Hertz, which it should be. Current from the supply is supposed to be 120 on the nose and 60 Hertz on the nose, but sometimes it fluctuates. Okay, so go back to amp.
Just like I have power conditioners in my PA, so which also measure line voltage. That's another thing power conditioners measure. Tells me, like, it's also a surge protector. 0.49 is what it draws on.
You know what I want to do?
What?
Just while we have the option,
Yeah.
I want to hook up the regular amp meter too and just see if we're getting the same thing, because I just wonder if, especially like with things like inrush current, I wonder if there's a way it could be different. So I'm going to hook this in over here.
Yep,
and then we'll just flip it to,
to amp.
So 0.5 on there. See, they're here different. That one's saying 0.49, that one's saying 0.5, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, I would bet the kilowatt is more accurate, honestly. But let's turn it to high and let's see. I'll watch this when you watch that one.
Okay.
So go ahead. Jumps up to 0.75 and drops. What did that one do?
Just went up to 0.73 up. It's still dropping. 0.72 amps.
Okay. So this one is a hair lower, but they both measured the inrush the same, right?
I didn't see an inrush up here.
It went up to 0.73, I thought. And this one went up to 0.75.
Okay. Well, it was so quick.
Yeah.
It was one of those real quick.
0.71. Okay, so let's hit watts.
Okay.
76. So hit power factor.
0.88.
Okay, so let's do that math.
All right.
So the power factor now is 0.88, and how many watts was it?
It was like 75.
Oh, hit amps again.
Okay, so 0.71 is what it draws here.
So 0.71.
Yep.
And volts was 120.
Yeah.
So it should be using 85 watts, but it's only drawing 76 watts. So it does have a power factor of less than 1. So that's
it does.
Just an example of where watts and amps are different. Again, I don't. You know what? Since I have the computer here, I'm just gonna Google power factor and see if I can get anything that will help me. Meanwhile, we can do spin down.
Yeah, of course. Let it spin down now.
The ratio of the actual electrical power dissipated by an AC circuit
reverse side
to the product of the RMS values of current and voltage. So that much I get, because we know it's the ratio. The actual electrical power dissipated is the wattage. So that's how much it's actually using, and the RMS values of current and voltage. So the reason it's different is because the current draw and the voltage are both RMS. Okay, which is mean square. The difference between the two is caused by the reactance in the circuit and represents the power that does no useful work. So, okay, that makes sense to me. So, the deal is that, what's that one on there right now? Oh, power factor?
Yep.
Okay, put it back to amps. So, the difference is that, amperage is the power that it's drawing. Wattage is the power that it's actually using. So it can draw some electricity and not actually use it. Now, what you are charged by from the power company is only what you use.
Yeah.
So that's why you're charged in kilowatts, not kilowatt hours, not kiloamp hours, or 100 amp hours or whatever. Because kilo is 1,000 anyhow. So it's interesting to know. Now, for the sake of designing circuits, we go by amps, not watts, because we go by the power that's actually passing through it, not by what's actually being used. But in terms of efficiency, if you're trying to figure out the efficiency of something, so when we're doing all these DC motor tests, the wattage is metal pizza board. Oh, you did find a reverse switch. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, it's right here.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah, I thought it was on here. I think that's where mine is on the switch housing, but I'm like, oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, I wasn't watching that, and what's it drawing? Same.
Yep, it should be the same forward and reverse. These are one of those that uses the cheap circuit.
Okay. And then here comes medium. Yep, same. And then here's high.
You're high. So are you doing the power? Are you doing the power factor too?
No.
So not when we do the test rig, because that would take forever. But just when we do the actual speeds of the fan,
yeah,
I want to do amps, watts, power factor, since we now have that ability. It should be the same for
it
in
is.
reverse,
That's kind of what I was.
But
thinking.
I just want to get in the habit of doing it.
Sure. Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah. So then when we have a fan that does like a single speed fan, like an industrial or whatever, we can just do it on like learning remote speeds or 5, 10, 15 or something like that. But I want to get in the habit of testing that because it's interesting to know.
Okay.
I am learning the things all the time. All the time learning the things, Metal Pete.
All right. So that was high reverse and.
Another thing will be interesting. We'll see if solid state high is going to be different with the power factor. That'll be because power factor on this is 0.88.
All right.
So when we get to solid state high, we'll see if that's any different.
Box. Here we go. 1, 2. Oh, no.
It's probably because whatever that thing is catching. Probably if the bearings were great. So now, just out of curiosity, let's just where it starts. Let's do the power factor.
Okay, that's 3.
So it's drawing 0.16 amps, but how many watts is it actually using?
2.9.
Only 3 watts. So hit power factor.
0.14.
Wow. Okay. So that's something that's really good to know. When you have a fan with an aesthetic low, it's using even less electricity than you would think based on current draw because of power factor. So I didn't even know you could have a power factor that low. I'm learning all the things. How many watts was that again?
It was at almost 3 watts.
3 watts. So let's just think about it. If you were to have it on that speed and the current draw was what?
The current,
like 1.5, like 0.1. Okay, yeah.
0.16.
So what you would assume that would draw would be 20 watts, which is not a lot. But even so, the difference between 3 watts and 20 watts. So aesthetic low speeds are a lot less wasteful than I thought they were. So that's very good to know.
Sure. Continue with 4. With 0.22. Okay, and 5. 0.28, so that's close to its factory low. So we're on 5, so we're at 9, almost 10 watts on 5.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, we don't have to check it every whatever because of
Sure.
we did it on the 3 original speeds. I just wanted to do it where it first started, just out of curiosity.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah. Okay. Here's 5. Here's 6.
You can do it wherever you want to. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying, you know.
Sure.
Well, you know what? So what was it drawing on factory low?
On factory low was
0.33, right?
Yeah.
So put it where it was drawing 0.33. Was that 6?
Okay.
No?
Actually, yeah.
Well,
0.34, 0.33.
okay.
That's,
So, and the power factor on factory low was what, 1?
Yeah.
So what is the power? So
Power factor on is 0.36.
So what's wattage is it drawing?
15.5
So
watts.
it's but was factory low faster than that, or was it about that speed?
No, it's about.
So in other words, it's much more efficient to use it through a capacitor for the low than it is to use the factory low, which doesn't surprise me because I believe these speeds are derived from coil taps, and there's a lot of wasted electricity when you have coil taps.
A lot of SMC stuff I've tested is like that too.
Yeah, very good. See, you're following. You understand because that's exactly what I was thinking.
And also, like, I'd get more current on low than medium sometimes.
Yep, and this will be interesting because we'll be able to look at that with power factor and see if it's still the same thing with wattage.
Yeah.
I sent when I first bought one of these, I sent you the link, the Amazon link to one, and I think you should get one too.
All right.
They're only like $15.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right. Here's 7. And here's 8. 9. 10. 12. Okay, so we're getting close to high on 12, so 13. Let me just... I remember testing this one. I couldn't go real high. I think here's 14, 15. Okay, I'm at 15 and I'm really close to high, 0.7 right there. So if I hit high, 0.71.
Okay, so what was it? What was it? Really close to high. Okay, so hit the power factor. Let's see let's see if the power factor is.
Okay.
0.83, and then go to no, leave it there.
Yeah.
Go to hit the high switch.
0.88.
Okay, so even though the current draw is about the same, the power factor changes significantly when you take the capacitor out of the circuit.
Yeah.
See, this is why I'm excited to have this, because there's so many things we can learn.
All right.
You know. Okay, you put it back on amp meter, and we can go to high.
It is.
It's not back at amp meter.
Amp meter. Okay. All right. So I'm at 15 right now. Now, if I go to 16, I'm right on the money with high, meaning, yep, I'm right. It didn't change. I'm right on the money with high.
Yep.
So, I'm curious to find out if I go up to 17. Yep, I start to go over. I start to go over.
Okay. So let's leave it at over for a second. Just leave it just for a second and hit the power factor.
Power factor?
Yep.
0.89.
So we're still under 1, but it's higher than the power factor was when it was on high, because hit the high switch.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Alright, so... But 16 is as high as I can go, and... So I'm thinking, yeah, either... I do have a 4711 that came in one of my Fanimations. I think my Zonix, somebody...
Nice. I like a good 4711, you know that.
Yeah, well, somebody...
Have we done spin down already? Yeah, we did, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Okay. So solid state will be very interesting to learn how that...
Is this a 16 pole motor?
It is. At least I've been told that. I've never actually opened one and counted it.
Yeah.
So, let's see how it does.
So what's the deal I'm not supposed to use?
You're just... I mean, I've heard that 16-pole motors tend to overheat. This will be a good way to find out, because if it's overheating, it'll be wattage, not amperage. So, let's find out. So put it back on amperage for now.
Okay. Okay.
And,
0.17.
yeah. Get it, get it up to, like, the 0.33 where it was for the,
Perfect. Oh.
Okay, so then hit the power factor. What was power factor on capacitor and fan? Do you remember? It was 1 on the fan, and with the... I don't remember what it was.
Oh, it was like 0.88?
0.88 was high, though.
Oh.
I don't remember what it was when we did the low speed. It was a very low power factor, that's all I remember.
Oh. I think maybe 0.14?
That was when it first started. I don't know.
Oh.
So, how many... Okay, so...
Right
how
now
many watts is it drawing?
Oh, watts? 15 points.
So, yeah, we're still pretty low. Yeah, I don't think that... If this is a 16-pole motor, I don't think there's any harm in using it on here, because it's acting fine. So, okay, let's just go through the solid state the way we normally would.
Alright. It's not as noisy as it could be. Alright. Go up a little more. This is about medium. This is what I believe medium was. 5.
Yeah. I don't remember now what the power factor was, so I'm not worried about checking all that for medium unless you want to, but when we get to high, I definitely want to
Okay,
check.
I'm right at high.
This is solid state high?
Yes.
Okay,
0.7.
let's see what the power factor is at solid state high. It was 0.88
Yep,
under normal circumstances, and...
0.86.
Okay, so it's similar. It's about as close as you would expect it to be, given that the current draw is so then we already know what the wattage would be. It's going to be around about the same. So, okay, let's do 0 to high. Let's see. I want to see. Let's look at both amp meters though. I want to see if they both capture 0 to high because this one. So, I'm going to watch. Since you're closer to the test rig, you watch the test rig amp meter.
All right.
And let's just see. I'm going to see how high this one goes. You see how high that one goes,
All right.
and we'll just keep track of what the highest number is. So
Okay.
go ahead.
0.78.
0.76. And that's what, 0.73?
Yep, points flop into 0.72.
Yeah, so... Yeah, so it measures the inrush current fine. It just, this amp meter has it at a few hundredths of an amp less than the old one does. But again, this one's probably more accurate. Another thing to consider, this has the whole test rig plugged into it, whereas that is in series with well, I guess it's right when you first come into the test rig, so it should be the same.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we've had a great learning experience with this,
Yep.
and we've got plenty more fans to test, and pizza to eat, so we're going to keep up with this, and thanks for watching.